Shalom, 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 Israel. First off, giving all honor and praises to the Most High and to his son, Yahweh. We the Battle Axes of the Most High coming to you with another Sabbath class. Shabbat shalom to brothers and sisters that are watching online. Shabbat shalom to brothers and sisters in the building. The name of today's class is Prevailing Over Spirits, Jacob and the Angel. Prevailing over spirits, Jacob and the Angel. Like we say, it's pivotal to kind of touch on these subjects to see the deeper aspect behind the scriptures. We always know that it goes into an initial context on a carnal level, but the Most High God is always trying to convey a deeper spiritual message behind the scripture. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 11 and verse 6 real quick. Because we know that many scriptures in the Bible are what? Have double meanings. Many scriptures in the Bible have double meanings, and that's the secret to the understanding of the scriptures. The first secret is what? Keeping the commandments. That's the first secret to the Bible. That's why Christians have a hard time with the laws are not done away with the Trinity, with basic scriptures. It's a stumbling block because they don't what? They don't keep God's commandments. When you get there, read that out. Job chapter 11 and verse 6.
The book of Job, chapter 11, verse 6. And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom.
So the Most High God is letting us know that it's a secret to the wisdom of this Bible. And like I said, Christians hadn't figured this out yet, and they would never figure it out because it's not given unto them. Read on.
That they are double.
That they are what?
That they are double to that which is.
Meaning many scriptures in the Bibles have what? Double meanings. So even like what we're going to touch on today in Genesis chapter 32, brothers want to make sure and sisters want to make sure that they look at it in a spiritual aspect. Always. When brothers and sisters are reading, when you're meditating on the scriptures, think of it in a spiritual aspect. See how it applies to your life. Because Christians try to take out on how the Bible is in play today. They always try to say, if brothers watch Christians' commentary, don't interject yourself into the scriptures. And that's not what the Bible says. Not at all. Read that again from the top out.
Job 11 and 6. And that he would show thee secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know therefore that God exacted of thee less than thy iniquity deserveth.
So we know that, guess what? We deserve a lot more harsher punishment than we are getting right now. Most High God has given us grace. He's given us mercy. The Most High God gives us that ability to prevail over spirits that we deal with. And that's what we want to touch on. Let's go to the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. Because a lot of times brothers and sisters may think that the spirits that they deal with are not coming to man, or that it's just so much that they can't deal with. Well, that's one of the attributes that the Most High God gave the children of Israel. And it's acted out in Genesis 32 with our forefather Jacob wrestling with the angel. You get there, read this off.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
So we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, carnal things. Read on out.
But against principalities.
But against principalities. What's the principalities? Going into angels, going into spirits. This is what we wrestle with. Like we always ask the brothers, man. Soji Hood, what type of spirit is hovering around Atlanta? A homosexual spirit. Brother Renaud, what type of spirit or principalities are hovering around Chicago? Thanks, a murder spirit, meaning where our people have a hatred one towards another to do what? To constantly want to kill one another. Where homosexuality is rampant in Atlanta. I mean, it's rampant, man. These are principalities that we're constantly battling with. Yeah. I think in that word, we can't say the slanders, you know, but homosexuality. Or we could just the alphabet gang. That's right. Oh, praise, like I said, that we'll use that. But these are the principalities that we battle. I'm gonna take it one further. What type of spirit do our congregation have? Say it again. Who said that? That thing heavy. That thing heavy amongst the congregation. And this is something that brothers and sisters must be aware of. We have that principality hovering around the congregation. That's why brothers are constantly on the attack, trying to use the scriptures to, guess what, weed out these spirits. But these are the battles that brothers and sisters must face, guess what, on their own as well. Now, it's not to say that you don't have help in this walk, because the Most High God gives us weapons. But that is a particular type of spirit. And a lot of congregations have different type of spirits. You know, it's not just us. You go through and the brothers and sisters have discernment on camps that brothers and sisters watch. If you have a good discernment, you can kind of tell by the scriptures that they bringing out what they're dealing with in that particular congregation. You can tell those things, man, if you have a level of discernment. Now, a lot of times, brothers and sisters may watch it for entertainment. I want to see it. No, should be watching those videos to do what? Some level of growth. It's not for entertainment.
And I want to touch on that lust a little bit. Go to First John chapter 2.
That's right. Boy, you ain't loud, huh?
First John chapter 2, and start at verse 15.
The book of First John, chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world.
What the Bible say?
Love not the world.
Because that's what lust comes from. It don't come from the spirit. It comes from the world. It comes of a carnal state of mind. Right? Read.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Right. Neither the things that are in the world. Right? Read.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
So guess what? When a brother or sister, when we deal with that, guess what, man? You gotta think that means it said the love of the Father is not in you. What that means, you're out of the spirit. Right? That's something we try to tell brothers. So stay in the spirit, right? Read on though.
Verse 16. For all that is in the world.
For all this, guess what? Out of the spirit, read.
The lust of the flesh.
You said the what?
The lust of the flesh.
Because these are types of lust that we deal with, right? Read.
The lust of the flesh. The lust of the eyes.
Those are too heavy lusts. The flesh can't, according to Romans 13 and 14, can't control your appetite, right? And the lust of the eyes, the things that we see from the day to day, right? But read on.
And the pride of life.
And the what?
And the pride of life.
Because guess what? The pride of life is lust too. Don't think that lust is just a one-way deal. No, lust comes in many different forms because pride comes in a lot of forms. You can do a whole class. You can do a whole class on pride, right? And do a 5-6 hour class on pride just alone, right? So pride comes in many different forms, man, right? Brothers or sisters they don't take hold of counsel. Hey, it's like that rabbit hole goes deep, man. Right? But go read.
And the pride of life is not of the Father.
It's not what?
Is not of the Father.
It's out of the spirit, man. Read.
But is of the world.
Right? This is all it is. It's of the world. Right? When we dealing in that type of manner, guess what? No matter how brothers and sisters deal, guess what? You one step from being out the truth. Right. No matter who you are. I don't give a damn who it is. You one step from being out the truth. Go ahead.
Read 17. Verse 17. And the world passeth away. And the lust thereof.
And the what?
And the lust thereof.
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times this lust is only for a moment, man. Because if it's true love, man, that thing will last forever. The Most I gotta put that thing together forever, man. Most I said, what he put together can no man bring apart. But that lust, man, that we continue to slip or trip upon, it's only for a moment in time. Like, let's be real. How many times have we did some dirt did some stuff or whatever the case may be because of lust, and then 2, 3, 5 minutes later, I'm like, damn, like that ain't nothing. I just messed up. I could have messed up my whole or whatever the case may be for that little simple thing. The lust passeth away, man. Right? Read on.
And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof.
Read on.
But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
You can precept that with Isaiah 40:7 through 8. You know, the grass withers, right? But the word of God, it stands forever, man. Like we said, true marriages that the Most High God put together, that thing is gonna last, man. Through the good and bad, through the ups and downs, through the circles and spears and squares and rectangles of the relationship, it's gonna last forever, man. Right? Well, let's get back. Go ahead, Doc.
Let's go back to the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12 from the top. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
So this is not a carnal battle. Read on up.
But against principalities.
But against principalities. Principalities goes into spirits. Read on up.
Against powers. Against the rulers of darkness.
Against powers, against the rulers of darkness. We know the rulers of darkness is going into what? Esau and these other nations, but mainly Esau. How they perpetuate, guess what? Unclean acts constantly on TV. You know, brothers and sisters know these things that they did see on TV. Interracial marriage, you know, homosexuality, LGBT community, you know, violence. You know, I'm gonna tell you too another thing, man. You never really see any good shows about family building. All the shows that we see is about sex, drugs, and gang violence. You know, those are the main things. Those things war in your mind. That's an evil communication. Read on up. Go ahead up. You got something?
Because we was just talking about that in Camp 101. They go to bed with thinking of ways to keep us down. Right. Because back when we were young, when I was growing up, we had good TV shows. You had Bill Cosby. You had Family Matters. They were showing parents in the household. So the so-called white man said, oh, hell no. We got to get these shows off the air. Let's bring up the what?
The powers
and what's the damn girls all the time just fighting.
Housewives,
all this stuff, man.
Look at it. Them sisters like, not my damn housewives. I'm gonna watch me some goddamn housewives.
This is what they do. They go to bed at night devising iniquity, man. And that's something that they brought upon us. And you can see that change in what, 10, 20 years.
That's right.
You can just see that change in like 20 years ago. We had great shows. The Cosby was a great show, man. Showing the so-called black family, man. Showing the positivity of us, of everything, different world, man. Right. Showing us in college. Yeah, right. Now they got college here. They out there just partying, shaking butt, man. And niggas watching. But that's how they do, man. Go ahead, huh?
A lot of times we watch it for entertainment, but don't think that their spirit don't jump on sisters or don't jump on brothers. You know, that thing can literally jump, man. That thing can jump. Because we know even dealing with the housewives, what type of spirit do they have? A gossiping spirit, you know, fighting spirit. You say it again. Reveling spirit. All those things. That too. You know, those things play a part. They just use it under the title of housewives, but you're not being a housewife according to the scripture.
See, those are things like when the scriptures deal with the lust of the eyes, right? When you watching those things, man, it tend to kind of pull you into that state of mind, man, right? Especially if say for instance, if you see it and then you turn around and you go to sleep behind it, right? After you don't watch this all night long, instead of you reading a couple of scriptures and going to sleep, but you got housewives on and go to sleep. These things tend to go on your mind, man.
That's
you
right.
wake up, you might wake up in the next morning in the same spirit, man, right? Go ahead.
And wondering why you had odds with your husband or vice versa. These things are prevalent, man. These things are very, very heavy, brothers and sisters. Read on up.
Salaki. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Against spirits. Read on.
Against powers. against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
So we fight against spirits and Esau, man. We fight on two fronts. That's why we teach brothers to do what? Fight on multiple fronts. Read on up.
Against spiritual wickedness.
Against what up?
Against spiritual wickedness.
Read on.
In high places.
In what?
In high places.
And that's the point. You will constantly fighting battles in spirits in high places. All the odds are against us, but the Most High God got what? He got our back, brothers and sisters, and that's the thing. He gives us power over these spirits, and a lot of times, brothers and sisters are not activating their powers. You know, they're not activating those things, man. This precept just popped up. Give me 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers.
Who are the beloved according to the scriptures, brother Lance? What's the precept for beloved?
Baruch 3 and 36.
All praise, that boy good, man. Boy cracked it off. Brother Trey, your ass is next. You already know. You know, I'll leave it at that. Read on up.
1 Peter 2 and 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust.
Read that again up.
Abstain from fleshly lust.
Abstain from fleshly lust. To abstain from certain things, you have to what? You have to have discipline. You have to have discipline. And if brothers and sisters don't have discipline, what should you do? You should pray for those things. That's the power that the Most High God gives us. To what? He gives us anything if we're asking according to his spirit. If you're asking it in the right reasons. A lot of times brothers and sisters are not using these things and utilizing it, man, to the best of their ability. You have to ask for these things. The Most High God to give you discipline if you lack discipline. Read on.
Abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul.
And that's the point. These things war against your soul, against your spirit, to cause you to do what? Not walk in the light of the Most High. This thing is heavy. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 18. Go ahead, up.
And what I is touching on, like when you asking the Lord for these things, make sure you brothers keep this in your mind. James 3 and 3. We be asking the miss, man.
That's right.
Right? And that's the main thing. The end of James 3 and 3 said that ye may consume it upon your lust, man. So the same thing I could touch on. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 55 and verse 18.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 18. He hath delivered my soul in peace.
Read that again.
He had delivered my soul in peace.
This is King David. Read on.
From the battle that was against me.
Read that again.
He had delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me.
So you think about it on two levels. You know, hey, we know David fought and won many wars, but David was fighting what? A carnal battle, actual wars, and he also was fighting what? His flesh, that spiritual battle. You know, not in the want to kill his brother Saul. You know, many times that he tried to come against him. That's the spirit that brothers and sisters in Israel deal with. A brother or sister may have wronged you, or they may not have wronged you, but you still have that animosity and that hatred to them, man. Trying to render evil for evil, man. That's not the spirit that the Most High God has given us. And brothers and sisters must learn to check their spirits when it comes to these things, man. Brothers and sisters know the things that they deal with. You know, if you have a hateful spirit, an envious spirit, a covetous spirit, an out of order spirit, an unclean spirit, guess what? For every spirit that you deal with, it's a spirit to combat that thing. It's a Bible verse. It's a law to combat those things. Read on up.
He had delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me.
From the battle that was against him. What was the battle that was against him? Spirits that he dealt with, man. Because what? King David had a what? A lustful eye as well. You know, he had a lustful eye, man. We read even a few weeks ago in the book of 1 Samuel. You know, we had that vainglory type spirit. But one thing King David did was what? Ehud. He examined himself, and he always did what? Repented and fought for the kingdom. That's one thing that, brothers and sisters, you don't just take the bad side from King David, you take the good side as well. How he got back on track, how he prayed to the Most High God to guess what? To restore unto him the spirit that he had from the beginning. That the Most High God don't take this spirit away from us, man. These are things that brothers and sisters must pray for, must fast for, and must read the scriptures for. Read on up.
For there were many with me.
For there were many with them. What is that going into? Who is the many that are with us? Say it again, up. The angels. You're in the spirit, up. Brothers on fire, man. The angels. Because the Most High God does what? He gives us those angels to do what? To comfort us. The same way he did with Christ. Give me Psalms 44 and verse 1. Check. You look warm back there, Officer King. Check. Oh, okay.
The book of Psalms, chapter 44, verse 1. We have heard with our ears, O God, our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days, in the times of old, how thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand and plantedest them.
Psalms 144 and 1. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good precept, though. That was a good precept, man. Psalms 44 and 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 144, verse 1. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war.
To what?
To war.
Read on out.
And my fingers to fight.
Now, the carnal man, you would think about actually putting up fists. That's one aspect you can look at it. But guess what? The deeper spiritual meaning is using them fingers to flip through these Bibles. Guess what? Reading these things, man, because this is what helps us to win that battle that we need for the kingdom. That's the main battle that we must fight, man. To guess what? Fight to make it to the kingdom, man. And our forefather Jacob had a great account of that, man. Through all the affliction, through what he was dealing with, guess what? He still was fighting to get that blessing. Read verse 1 again from the top out.
Psalms 144 and 1. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war, and my fingers to fight.
Read on.
My goodness.
My what?
My goodness.
Read on up.
And my fortress.
The Most High God is our fortress, man. Read on up.
My high tower. And my deliverer.
And he's our deliverer. He's not the other nation's deliverer. Read on.
My shield, and he in whom I trust.
Read on.
Who subdueth my people under me.
And that's a heavy thing, you know, to have in order. And that's the thing that we're trying to get back to have people in order. Our nation subdued up under Yahushua. That thing is a great honor that we're trying to work for in this time frame. And brothers and sisters have to have that mindset that it's not just initially goes into the congregation, but remember, brothers and sisters, we're doing this for what? World domination. And I know we have to keep reiterating it because a lot of times brothers and sisters don't understand how big this task is. You think about just around our neighborhood. No, this is for the plight of the world, man. The whole world. And that's the mindset that the Most High God wants us to be in. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 1. Yeah. Genesis chapter 32 and verse 1. If we're going too fast, brothers and sisters, just raise your hand. Hold it real quick, steer the page is flipping.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 1. And Jacob went on his way, And the angels of God met him.
Read that again now.
Genesis 32:1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him.
And the angels of God met him. Now, when you read in the initial chapter, we know it's going into what? Jacob eventually preparing to meet what? His brother Esau. And he understands the type of spirit that Esau has on him. What type of spirit does Esau have, twin? A murderous spirit, a hatred spirit. He hates his brother because of the blessing that the Most High God gave us. And that anger, guess what? It's even up to today. That's why we constantly are at war with that particular nation. And a lot of times, brothers and sisters can play the games if you want to, but we know who we are constantly at odds with, man. And no other nation of people is constantly at odds with one another like Esau and Jacob. This is from the beginning of time. And that spirit ain't doing nothing but getting stronger and stronger. Read that again from the top.
Genesis 32:1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him.
And the angels of God met him. Read on.
And when Jacob saw them,
And when Jacob did what?
and when Jacob saw them,
Read on up.
he said, "This is God's host."
Uh-huh.
And he called the name of that place Mahanaim.
Going into God's host or two camps. Give me Genesis chapter 28, verse 10. How was Jacob able to see these things? This is the gift. Remember, you want to keep it in the spiritual aspect. Yes, he physically saw them, but remember, we keeping it spiritual. How do we have the ability to see certain spirits that are on brothers and sisters? Discernment. And with the power that the Most High God gave us. You can see a brother by his walk and his gait. You can tell what type of spirit that a brother is. Or a sister, that manly spirit, voice deeper than a brother's. You can tell what type of spirit that sister is in. Read this right quick, Ak.
The book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 10. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows and lay down in that place to sleep.
Read on, Ak.
And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending
Go ahead, Salaki.
on it.
Guess what? The Most High God gave Jacob this dream, but he was actually able to see the spirits coming to and fro from the heavens. This is the ability that we have, mainly to, guess what, be able to check the spirits that you see on yourself. This is what this power is utilized for, man. The Most High God gives us an advantage over the nations, particularly in this way. Read verse 12 again.
Verse 12 from the top. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it.
So we have this ability to be able to see these particular spirits. And if brothers and sisters don't feel like they have it, activate your power by what? By praying, by fasting. Let's get an example. Let's go to the book of 2 Kings. I know Soldier E. Hood kind of touched on it a little bit. 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 16.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 16. And he answered, "Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them."
Read verse 16 again now.
2 Kings 6 and 16. And he answered, "Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them."
Let's get a little bit more context. Jump up to verse 12.
Verse 12. And one of his servants said, "None, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber."
So we know this is going into Elisha and his servant, and they were at odds. And these other nations basically sent what? The police after them, or the military. Read on out.
And he said, "Go and spy where he is."
The Syrians. Read on.
"That I may send and fetch him." And it was told him, saying, "Behold, he is in Dothan." Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host.
So the Syrian king at this time was doing what? Sending a great host after the prophet Elisha. And we understand, taken from this is going to happen to our people in these latter days during Jacob's trouble. But this is the one thing that brothers and sisters must remember out of this. Read on.
And they came by night and compassed the city about.
So we will be surrounded maybe at times. Certain brothers, that's their lot to go through. And you have to prepare your spirit for these things now. Read on.
Verse 15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do?
So you see the servant doing what? Panicking, afraid. Let's see what the prophet do. Read on.
And he answered, Fear not.
Do what?
Fear not.
Do what, brothers?
Fear not.
Read on, not.
For they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
They that be with us are more than they that be with them. Who is the more that it's talking about? The angels. We have to understand that the Most High God gives us a hedge of protection of angels to do what? To comfort us in a time of affliction. Read on, not.
Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes.
Do what?
Open his eyes.
And this is something that brothers and sisters must pray for, man. If you don't have this particular faith, you have to ask the Most High God to do what? To open your eyes. Open your spiritual understanding so you're able to see the things that you deal with. And guess what? On how to combat those things, man.
Also, when you looking at this, you see how Elisha did. Elisha did panic, but guess what? The people, the servants that were around him were panicking. So what did he do? He prayed for them, right? For them to see it too. Like he's like, I know I see it.
That's right.
But y'all can't see it. So you got to, so when you, it's like when you dealing with people, if they can't see it, guess what? Your mom, just like think about this truth. They can't see it. Pray to the Lord. Ask the Lord, see if he can give them favor for them to see it. Ask for your mom, ask for your father, ask for your brothers and sisters, man, your family, man, to see it. Right? Because he opened your eyes, he might have favor, maybe open their eyes too. Right? Go ahead.
Keep reading, not.
Verse 17 from the top. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see.
That he may what?
That he may see.
Because a lot of times we can see carnally, but a lot of times brothers and sisters can't see spiritually. Read on out.
And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man.
And the Lord did what?
And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man.
Read on.
And he saw.
And he what?
And he saw.
Read on out.
And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
When you ask the Most High God to open your spiritual eyes, then you can see on a deeper level. You can see that, guess what? You have a hedge of protection. You can see that you have brothers, that you have sisters in your corner to do what? To be able to help back you. And most of all, you have the angels. You have the Most High, most of all, for that hedge of protection. But a lot of times, brothers and sisters are not using these things, leaning to their own understanding, then all hell breaks loose. Don't want to take counsel. Go ahead.
Let's get a precept on that. Because that's heavy, man. That's spiritual. And the spirit, man, looking at that precept, that's what he did to us right now, man.
That's right.
He opened our eyes to see what we are fighting against, man. We can see, like we said, this is the whole thing. This is the peace, Isaiah 29:13. This is the peace that he gives us now that we are able to see, right? We seeing the Most High God fight for us, man. Like I said, we see that we got brothers that got our backs, man. Sisters that got your backs no matter what, man. This is how the Most High God is opening our eyes, man. Because like Elisha said, the brother had a spirit on him not to be able to see what he was able to see, but it's because Elisha was what? In the spirit, man. Read this out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me.
No, 10, 29 and 10. Did I say 13? Shalaka, my bad.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
And what?
And hath closed your eyes.
So this is exactly what happened with all of us, man, before we came into this truth. Before we start realizing and seeing that we were the people of the book, that we were the nation, the chosen people, he had put that spirit of deep sleep upon us. Like this brother, man, he had a spirit of sleep upon him. He couldn't see it. Read.
And the prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered.
Read on.
And the vision of all is become unto you as the word that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed.
Read.
And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned.
So going into this spirit with Elijah, man, I mean, listen, man, he's showing him that guess what? I'm able to see this thing, man. Right? That goes into what? Trusting your leaders, trusting in your counsel. I'm gonna tell y'all that thing real heavy, man. Because we up in this thing, but I don't know if people really trust us as being their leaders, man. Like for real, man. We go into council all the time, and brothers and sisters do not adhere to the counsel that we give them.
Don't.
Because I don't think they really see us as their leaders, man. You got to be able to open your spiritual eyes, man. Did you ask for this?
Nope.
Did you ask for this? I know damn well I didn't ask for this. The Most High God put us here. Did y'all ask for this, Keenan? Barakai?
What do you say? Because you know, the main reason why the Lord said, you ain't chose me. Why? Because we'll never choose him. He said, I chose you.
That's right.
Because we'll never choose the Lord.
We'd have never chose.
Think about it, man. Half us in here before we got the truth, boy, we thought we was living our best life. We wasn't going back and forth with no niggas. Right? We don't care what it was, what the cost was.
That's right.
Guess what? I don't care if I had to put these knuckles upside your head. I wasn't going back and forth with you, right? That's how we live. We wish a nigga would, right? But when the Lord opened our eyes, hey, now we pray for brothers and sisters, man. Dang, that brother out the spirit.
That's
That
right.
sister out the spirit.
That's right.
Right?
But we hope y'all eyes are open to see what the Most High God has gave to us and all the other elders and leaders of Israel, man, right? You know what I'm saying? We all got to be on one accord to be able to open our eyes and actually see it. Let's just ask him, man, Lord, can he see it? That's what we asking the nation, man. Can you see it, man? Go ahead, Al.
Let's go back to 2 Kings chapter 6. Read verse 17 again.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 17 from the top. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes.
That's what he did with Jacob. He opened his eyes so he was able to see, guess what, spirits going what? To and fro in this earth. Guess what? We had that same type of power too. Why? Because guess what? That's our forefather. Read on up.
Open his eyes that he may see.
Read on up.
And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw.
And he what?
And he saw.
Read on up.
And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
And that's the same thing. He was able to see those things. He was able to see those things in the spirit. Like we said, it's not a coincidence why we constantly be on brothers about that distraction spirit, because we can see that spirit hovering over brothers. They in la la land. They not fully here. That's why certain brothers get called on to make sure. Guess what? Are you with us? You checking on brothers, man. You here? Read on.
Verse 18. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said,
he did what?
Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness.
With what?
With blindness.
So we see how the Most High God does what? Turn these things on our own head. Our people was dealing with it, but Elisha did what? Prayed that, guess what? They was now smitten with that blindness, man. We have these particular type of powers, man, with the Most High God and over spirits and over men. Hey, you got that boss at your job that's messing with you, that Edomite boss, man. Hey, you better pray to the Lord on that thing, man. Lord, you jack his behind up, man. A lot of time, what y'all pray? Yes, we can pray for the destruction of our enemies, man.
Yes.
Let's prove that real quick. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 18.
Oh,
The brother Bilal felt that. I said, come read that out. Come read. No, don't pray for your enemies. Love your enemies. No, which enemy? Sister Betty, Brother Jenkins. This is talking about the enemies of the other nation. Start at verse 1. We're just going to read down.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 18, verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray.
To what?
Men ought always to pray.
We ought always to pray. Read on up.
And not to faint.
And not faint. Read on up.
Verse 2, saying, there was in a city a judge.
A what?
A judge.
Read on up.
Which feared not God.
And we know that this is going into what? The other nations. Because at this time, who was the nation in rulership? Brother Judah. During the time of Luke, who was the race or the nation in rulership? That shouldn't be a hard question. If brothers write the captivities in the front of your Bibles, help him out, Brother Renard. The Roman noodles? What the heck? The Roman, brother? Brother, what the hell? The Roman. Technically, we don't give a damn how you say their name, but we
talking about lettuce, romaine. Right. Want some lettuce? We want a salad?
Hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know we laughing about it, but guess what? That brother taking them notes, bro.
That brother,
he might can't read it, but he taking them notes, bro.
Romaine, Romaine, and you got, boy, I'm gonna start throwing pins up in here, man. Damn, well, you know I'm gonna be on you, boy, like a cheap suit, brother. Look, brother. Come on, brother. Come on, man. I literally gave you about 10 seconds, brother. Read that again,
The book of Luke, chapter 18, verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Saying, there was in a city a judge.
A what?
A judge.
A ruler, read on.
Which feared not God.
How many one keeping the commandments? Read on.
Neither regarded men. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary.
Do what are?
Avenge me of mine adversary.
So this woman is coming to, this woman represents who? Israel. Guess what? Avenge me of mine adversaries. Read on up.
Verse 4. And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, though I fear not God, no regard men.
So meaning this is an unjust man that don't fear the Most High God. Read on.
Yet because this widow troubleth me.
But because she's troubling him. Remember, what is the context? How do we trouble the Most High? By praying. By constantly praying to the Most High. Lord, please take us up out of this captivity. Lord, please bless this to be the last Passover. Lord, please get us up out of this situation. Send Yahweh Shah to, guess what, deliver us out of this situation. Read on out.
Yeah, because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her.
He will do what?
I will avenge her.
Even the unjust ruler was going to avenge her because she was what? Bugging and nagging him. Read on out.
Lest by her continual coming, she weary me.
Read on out.
And the Lord said, hear what the unjust just said. And shall not God avenge his own elect?
So we got to think the Most High God, which is what? A just and righteous God. What you think he's going to do by us continually to pray and ask the Most High God? Read on.
And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him?
Which cry day and night unto him. Read on out.
Though he bear long with them?
Though he bear long with us, man. Because don't think that the Most High God ain't getting tired of dealing with certain brothers and sisters, man. He's given us this opportunity through long suffering, patience, and grace and mercy. Read on.
Verse 8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
He will do what?
He will avenge them speedily.
Most High God is going to avenge us, man. So guess what? We got to shut down that Christian notion to not pray for the destruction of our enemies, man. This is literally in the scriptures. Read on now.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, Shall he find faith on the earth?
Hey, that's when people gonna find faith, man. When you seeing Christ going through smashing the other nations, then you're gonna want to get right. But then it may be too late, man. Go ahead, up.
Let's get this same account. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18. Right? Brothers got to make sure y'all write that precept down beside that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7, man. If you don't have it, you better have it beside it. Because it's saying the same thing. When you get y'all, let's read it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7.
Read.
So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous.
Because guess what? To our people, they can accept righteous. But soon we talk about Esau. Boy, not my Esau. Right? Esau got to come too, man. Right? And it's in the wicked of our people too, man. They want our people to be in wickedness too. But we can accept righteousness, but read.
So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
We got to accept both sides. We cannot play the game with the Lord. If you can accept the good, you got to accept the bad too, man. You can't just run from this thing like this, man. Right? You got to accept the righteous and you got to accept the destruction of the enemies too, man. Right? Because a lot of our people, we don't accept it. Not our Esau. Yes, Esau, your ass too. Right?
Because it's okay for you to say, well, I really don't, they don't have to get back. I don't have to get back at them, right? That's fine. That's you. But our God doesn't work like that.
That's right.
I don't know if y'all know this, but our God doesn't work like that. He don't play like that. It's fine and then for you to say that, that's fine. But our God ain't never said that in his word. He said he gonna recompense them fully, man. He said they're gonna get double. So it's okay for you, as you want to be that thing. But our God don't work like that, man. So I don't know what you're gonna do about it. Go ahead,
Let's go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and start at verse 1 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host.
This is who?
This is God's host.
Went into the angels. Read on.
And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom.
So this is the Most High God doing what? Sending the angels to do what? To prepare Jacob for the arrival or the meeting of his brother Esau, because he knows that Esau has a murder spirit. And this is what a lot of times what the Most High God does. He sends particular spirits to comfort us, to do what? To get us ready for the battles that are at hand. Brothers and sisters, know the battles that you deal with on an individual level, Salaki. But then we have to come together and deal with these things on a greater level as a nation. And this is the mindsets that brothers and sisters must have in this truth, man. Read on.
Verse 4. And he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob said thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants and women servants. And I have sent to tell my Lord.
He have sent to tell who?
And I have sent to tell my Lord.
Because we know ultimately Laban, he had to be prepared for that too, because his so-called uncle, guess what? Didn't do what? Didn't deal righteously with him. We know he, guess what? Was constantly trying to, guess what? Finesse our people. Say it again, trying to up one over our forefather Jacob, man. But the Most High God was what? Fighting on Jacob's behalf. Read that part again.
Thy servant Jacob said thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, and men servants, and woman servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord that I might find grace in thy sight.
Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 31 and verse 36, real quick.
The book of Genesis, chapter 31, verse 36. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin?
Why is that so significant? Can any brother, why is that point so important? What you got, Ehud?
He thought that maybe he had did something.
No, just in the context, what is my trespass? What is my sin?
He was asking him to show him his sins that he had did wrong in regards to it.
Kind of take it on a bigger level, though. See if brothers in the same spirit. What is my sin?
He wanted to kind of know what was his issue with it.
Not that. Remember, not. I understand that is correct, but not the initial point that I'm trying to convey. The initial point is, what is my sin? Meaning Jacob knew about what? The laws.
Right.
That's the point that brothers and sisters, brothers, Salaki, must home in when you out there on the streets, man. You got to point those things out, man, because they always say that what, Brother Lance?
Oh, showing y'all ain't doing all the y'all ain't following all.
Not so much as that, but
or don't judge me.
no, not so much as that.
The point that you just made.
No, because if remember, Jacob is before who? Moses. Y'all understand that?
So if Jacob is before Moses, the laws came before who? Moses.
That's why it's pivotal that y'all understand the timelines of the Bible. Because if you understand the timelines of the Bible, guess what? No Christian can confound you. Because all they do is take things out of context and out of time. Go ahead, that's all that they do. It's showing you that he knew about sin, meaning he had the law. Going back to what 1 John 3 and 4, and that's where brothers have to do what? Make home in those points. Read on up.
36 from the top. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin? That thou hast so hotly pursued after me?
Because we know that, guess what? Laban pursued after him, man, after he was granted him leave. Take your family, go ahead. Read on up.
Verse 37, whereas thou hast searched all my stuff. What hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it there before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both.
Meaning, check your stuff. Go through my stuff.
Okay. And we'll see if brothers caught that too. What precept could you go to in the New Testament that helps this situation out? Matthew's what? 18. Matthew's 18. He said, I think he said it backwards. He said it backwards, but he's on point with it, right? Because if we can't come to a resolution right now, guess what we're supposed to do? Set it before the witnesses. That's going into the Matthew chapter 18, man. Right? Man, Jacob was on point with that thing, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Brother showing you was keeping the laws,
Exactly.
doing things in order. Read on up.
Verse 38, this 20 years have I been with thee, the eyes and the she-goats of the ewes, thy ewes and thy she-goats.
Jump down to verse 41. Let's get to the point.
Verse 41, thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times.
10 what?
10 times.
Showing you that, guess what? His uncle Laban wasn't dealing with him righteously, man. But we got a God that, guess what, that fights for us. Going into how we can prevail even over men. Read on out.
Verse 42, except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, And the fear of Isaac
So-
had been with me.
So we never read in the scriptures the God of all the nations. We always read what? The God of my father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac. Read on out.
And the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty.
Uh-huh.
God had seen my affliction.
God had did what?
God had seen my affliction.
So the Most High God knows the afflictions that we go through. He's the one that's putting these things on us. So we know that he's always doing what? Giving us a way out of these things, man. Brothers and sisters got to hold the fort and not faint and apply the scriptures. A lot of times we always say it's always a breakdown of one or two things. You're not properly applying the scriptures, or you're not taking proper counsel, or you're not praying and fasting. We always notice it's always a breakdown of one of those things when brothers and sisters are dealing with something. Go ahead, Up.
And that's the perfect example. Like when the scripture said, where there's no law, there's no sin. Guess what, man? Hey, Jacob was on point with his, man.
That's right.
Like for real. If you look at, he's going through. If you look at this whole thing, he's going through laws. His whole thing, he's going through law. He said he talking about trespass. He talking about usury. Man, he's literally going through laws and showing Laban like, look, I laid everything on the line. He's literally going through the moral law. He's literally going through the civil law.
That's right.
Guess what? He literally going through the dietary laws. Guess what? He's going through these laws with him. And guess what? Confounding brother, man. Right? Showing them how the Lord's laws was standing with him. He was standing with him all the way. Right? So it wasn't no wickedness in Jacob, man. Right? Go ahead, Up.
Keep reading now.
Verse 42 from the top. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me.
The fear of Isaac. What is the fear of Isaac? Isaac what? Teaching him the law, statutes, and commandments. These things was passed down. Read on up.
Surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. God had seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight.
And did what?
And rebuked thee yesternight.
So when we stay in the spirit like our forefather Jacob did Salakia, we see that the Most High God does what? Rebuke these other nations. We see he constantly does what? Fights on our behalf. But brothers and sisters must do their part first, man. That initial battle stems with you versus yourself, even like Captain Yara touched on last week. That's that initial battle that you is going to deal with first, like how we're going to touch on. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Let's get straight to the point. Let's go to Genesis chapter 32 and verse 24. That initial battle starts with you. The book of Genesis chapter 32 and verse 24.
The book of Genesis chapter 32 verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
It says, and Jacob was left alone, meaning what? That's how you're going to be a lot of times when you're fighting these battles. That initial battle is you versus you. You, guess what? The spirit coming upon you, brother. Just watch class from YouTube. It'll be all right, brother. Don't waste your gas. You ain't got no gas money. Then you got an outlet for brothers to be able to help brothers and sisters out with gas money, and you don't even utilize that thing. Brother, that's a cop out. Sister, that's a cop out. That's the spirit trying to get you not to keep the commandments of the Most High. Read that part again, verse 24.
Verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Let's see who this man is. Give me the book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 2.
The book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 2. The Lord hath a controversy with Judah, and will punish Jacob according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him.
Hello. Start over. I still hear them pages flip. So like
the book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 2. The Lord also, the Lord hath also a controversy with Judah, and will punish Jacob according to his ways.
Read on.
According to his doings will he recompense him.
And guess what? We're in that time right now. We're getting recompensed for trespassing against the Most High. Read on.
He took his brother by the heel in the womb.
He took his brother by the heel in the womb. What precept is that, brothers? It sounds like mumbling out there, man.
Say
Say it again.
it again, Charlie Brown.
This Swift by.
Say it again, Soldier Ezra. All praises. Read that part again.
Swift by.
Verse 3.
He answered it from the living room, man.
Read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength.
And by his what?
And by his strength.
Read on.
He had power with God.
So even when they was in the womb, Jacob had strength, man. Read on with the Most High.
Yea, he had power over the angel.
Over the who?
Over the angel.
So now we see that this man that he was wrestling with is not just a regular man. Read that part again out.
Yea, he had power over the angel.
And what?
And prevailed.
And prevailed. Read on out.
He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spake with us.
And there the Most High God was speaking with us, man. That's some heavy stuff right there, man. That the Most High God can commune with us. And a lot of times our people are not utilizing our God right, man. That's shame to our people, man. Let's go back. Genesis chapter 32 and verse 24 from the top.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So this man is a who, brother? An angel, according to Hosea 12 and 2. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 9. Remember, when brothers read Proverbs, the book of Sirach, the book of Wisdom of Solomon, a lot of times they're going into other details as well to be able to put with the scriptures in other places. So they give them sometimes a more detailed account. So those books are pivotal for brothers to go into to add more precepts to the understanding. You get there, read this, huh?
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 9. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her.
So we know ultimately that wisdom is the thing that delivers us. Wisdom is what, brothers? What's wisdom, brother Uriah? Damn it. I'm gonna go. All praise the brother redeemed himself. Come in on point. Brother Hosea, your ass is next. Read that again.
Deuteronomy, so like Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 9. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her.
Read on.
When the righteous fled from his brother's wrath.
What is this going into? Jacob and Esau. Read on up.
When the righteous fled from his brother's wrath, she guided him in right paths.
She did what?
She guided him in right paths.
Even how he was dealt with Laban. Jacob always used what? Wisdom. He always used wisdom. That's why the Most High God what? Delivered him from that particular situation. Read on up.
Showed him the kingdom of God.
Did what up?
Showed him the kingdom of God.
That's some heavy stuff right there, man. Even during that time, he was showed the kingdom of the Most High God, man. Similar to us today, man, we're being showed the kingdom of the Most High because it's literally in the scriptures. We literally read in the book of Revelations 21 and 12 that it's only for the 12 tribes of Israel. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, on how these nations are going to continually bring tribute into our gates. In the book of Revelations, chapter 2, on how we're going to overcome them, break them in pieces, man. We're literally being showed the kingdom of heaven. But a lot of times when brothers and sisters are out of the spirit, they can't grasp or they can't see it with their spiritual eyes. Read on out.
She guided him in right paths, showed him the kingdom of God.
Read on.
And gave him knowledge.
And gave him what?
And gave him knowledge of holy things.
Knowledge is what according to the scriptures? What you got, twin? All praise, man. Brothers in the spirit, man. Read on up.
Showed him the kingdom of God and gave him knowledge of holy things.
And gave him knowledge of holy things. Read on up.
Made him rich in his travails.
Made him rich in his travails, going into the things that he received out of the situation with Laban. The Most High God blessed Jacob above Laban, man. That's the blessings that are in store for us, man. These other nations ain't gonna have. That's what we tell brothers and sisters. Even the scripture, Salaki, tells us. Guess what? We chase the kingdom of heaven, man.
Right.
That's what you chase first, because then all those things will be what? Added on to you. Read on, up.
And multiplied the fruit of his labors.
And multiplied the fruit of his labors, going into what? The things that he received. The cattle, the servants, the money. All these things that you can go back and read over in the book of Genesis chapter 31. Read on up.
Verse 11. And the covetousness of such as oppressed him, she stood by him and made him rich.
Guess what? The Most High God makes us rich when we apply his commandments in the way that they're supposed to be applied.
Who had that covetousness? That's right.
That's right.
So you make sure you line this up as being with Esau and Jacob.
Under verse 10, put Genesis 27 and 42. Under Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 10, put Genesis 27 and 42. Let's go back to Genesis 32 and verse 24 again. Genesis chapter 32 and verse 24.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone.
Like I said, Jacob was left alone, going into even what we touched on. This is where the first initial battle comes from. You versus you. Your spirit versus what? The old spirit. And guess what? You're constantly at odds with one another, with yourself, because that old man wants to do what? Go back to those old ways, go back to lust, go back to drinking to get drunk, going back to smoking weed, sisters going back to being in out of order, having that masculine spirit. Those are the battles that we constantly fight first, is that battle within yourself. And like we say, all brothers and sisters deal with something, man. Even us as leaders, we do deal with things, man. A lot of times brothers and sisters may think that we don't deal with nothing. Yes, we do deal with things, man. We deal with things all the time, man. This is the condition of the battle. Let's get there right quick. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 57. These are the terms of the contract. This is what we signed up for. Yes, we did. Kyrie. Second Ezra chapter 7 and verse. So like, let's start up a little bit. Start up at verse 54. So like your brothers and sisters.
The book of Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 54. For we have walked in unpleasant places.
We have walked in unpleasant places, even going into today. This place, Babylon the Great, is an unpleasant place, man, because they do things totally contrary to the Bible. Read on up.
And that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars.
Shall do what?
Shall shine above the stars.
It says, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence. What is abstinence? To abstain, meaning discipline. Meaning what? We're not, when we're walking in these unpleasant places, guess what? We're using abstinence. We're using discipline. We're using discernment. We're, guess what? Seeing what spirits are out here, and guess what? We're combating these spirits with what? With the scriptures. With the spirit that the Most High God gave us to prevail over these things, man. A lot of times our people have to get into this thing and understand that we do have power over these spirits, man. Don't let these spirits beat you up, man. Don't let that lust spirit, guess what, tear you down. That smoking spirit tear you down, or that drinking spirit, or that out of order spirit with your husband. Guess what? Don't let these things tear us down, man. Read on up. Read that again from the top.
Verse 55. And that the faces of them which have used abstinence.
That's what we must use in this captivity. We must use abstinence. Read on.
Shall shine above the stars.
And I'm going to tell you, that thing is heavy, even going into what? Strong sexual desire. That thing is heavy because, like we said, we know that we deal with lust up in the congregation, man. We deal with that thing. And that's what our job is, to call these things out so people can hear it, man. Like, we don't sugarcoat a damn thing, man, because we know that we deal with these things. And we'll be crazy as hell not to call these things out in class, man. Just brush over these things. That's going into respect of persons, and we can't have it. People have to hear the things that, guess what, brothers and sisters deal with. So they can be shamed into doing what? Overcoming these things, man. Read on, huh?
Whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity.
For while we lived and broke God's commandments, read on.
We considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
So we don't understand that, guess what? When we break God's commandments, when we lust, when we sin, we don't understand that we're going to have to pay for these things, man. It is a judgment to be had when brothers and sisters go against the commandments, man. Yes, we have that place of opportunity to repent, but you have to think about it. You're repenting and then going back into the same damn thing. That's something that brothers and sisters must check in their spirit, man. Read that part again, huh?
For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
We're going to have to suffer for these things after death. Read on out.
Then answered he me and said,
this is the point. Read on.
This is the condition of the battle.
These are the terms of the contracts. Read on.
Which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Shall what?
Shall fight.
This is the contract that we have with the Most High. That in the book of Exodus, in the book of Genesis, in the book of Deuteronomy, that guess what? We made a covenant with the Most High God that guess what? We were going to go through these things and fight, and guess what? Prevail over these spirits, man. If we don't keep the commandments, then what? The curses are put on us, according to Deuteronomy 28. This is the terms, man. So brothers and sisters, you signed up for this, man. Knowing when you got into this truth, what this truth was all about. This truth ain't going to be what you want. No, this truth is about what the Most High God wants. So you may have particular spirits on you, and he have them stand on you until you deal with it according to his will. Till he feel like you done conquered that spirit enough. Till he felt like you done overcame that thing enough, man. Till it's acceptable to the Most High. Read on, huh?
Verse 57. Then he answered me and said, this is the condition of battle. Which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Shall what?
Shall fight.
Shall what, brothers?
Shall fight.
Read on, huh?
That if he be overcome.
That if you overcome by these spirits, read on.
He shall suffer.
He shall what?
He shall suffer as thou hast said.
Guess what? If we be overcome by these spirits, the Most High God said we're going to suffer. Ain't we suffering, brothers and sisters? We suffering, man. These curses are poured out upon us, man. And it pains our spirit to see our people in the conditions that they are. Like we say, being in this truth for a number of years, I'm going to tell you, man, it thickens your skin. It really does, because now you understand when we're out there prophesying to our people, not that we don't have mercy and compassion, but we understand why brothers and sisters are in the situation that they're in. Been out there for many, many years. Brothers and sisters hear and know about the truth, and they still cuss out the prophets of the Most High, blaspheme God's name. And you thinking they're not going to be judged for those things when they know about the truth? Shh. Go ahead, Op.
Watch this. Go to Ezra chapter 9 right quick. Ezra chapter 9 and verse 13. Like what I'm going into is a heavy deal, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. Right? This is what we signed up for. This is what the Lord opened our eyes up for. This is what he chose us for, man. Right? But read Ezra chapter 9, verse 13. We get there, let's read it.
The book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 13. And after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds.
He said, after everything that come upon us for our evil deeds, right? Read.
And for our great trespass.
And for our great trespass, right? Read.
Seeing that thou, O God.
Now watch this. This is the heaviest part. He said, seeing thou, O God, read.
Seeing that thou, our God, has punished us less than our iniquities deserve.
You see that? The Lord said he punished us less than our iniquities deserve. Right? Because we deserve much more than that, man. The Lord said, I punish y'all less than y'all what y'all deserve, man. You think about how a father is to a son or a mother to a daughter. Man, a lot of our children couldn't stand, just being honest, we couldn't stand the ass what we'll put on them, man. I'm just being real. And just like this, with our God, we couldn't stand the ass whooping he'll put on us too. Just being honest. On a day-to-day basis. Guess what? I know for myself, me and this traffic thing, it's a bad deal. It's bad, right? But that's something that I work on a day-to-day basis, though, right? Well, I just be praying to the Lord, just close my eyes from bull crap, man, right? Because the Lord said he punished us less than we deserve, man, right? But read.
And has given us such deliverance as this.
Right? Because he gave us such deliverance. Guess what? As this truth. That's the things that we see right now on a day-to-day basis. This is how we build our spirit up, man. Right? Go ahead.
Keep reading up. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, Salah. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 58.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 58. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as thou hast said.
Read on.
But if he get the victory.
If he get the what?
If he get the victory.
But if you overcome those spirits, man, and think of how glorious that thing is, that you can overcome spirits that you deal with. A brother smoking cigarettes, blacking mouths, weed. You overcome that, and then a new brother come in that's struggling with that. You can give him that experience. You can give him that understanding, like, brother, you can deal with that, brother. I overcame that. Or sisters in this truth, showing sisters on how to be in order with their husbands. Because guess what? They done went through those accounts, and they get that counsel, or they get that understanding according to Titus chapter 2. These things are for experience for the next younger brother or sister when they come into this truth. That's the epitome of going into what we always bring out, Sirach chapter 33. We don't just labor in this truth for ourselves. We labor for all them that seek learning, man, to be able to give our people the understanding and the example. That's the point, man. And they can see that this really is the truth when they seeing brothers and sisters changing their lives, man. That's why we say we don't give a damn what Esau say, talking about the laws are done away with. That lets you know that they are one wicked nation. Look at what the laws have done for our people by us keeping them, man. We always say this myself, me selling drugs, understanding Leviticus 17 and 19, that if I do that, that's hatred towards my brother. That gave me the ability to change from that particular lifestyle. Dealing with lust, dealing with hatred. We know the spirits that we dealt with in the world. And now y'all can be that example and show brothers and sisters on how to overcome those things, man. That thing is heavy. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 32, verse 24.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
The breaking of the day is going into what, brothers? Do any brother know? Dawn. Going into dawn. So we know that Jacob was doing what? Wrestling when? All night. And this is just a prelude, meaning you have to wrestle with spirits, all night, day and night, man. You have to constantly fight spirits, man.
And I'm gonna tell you, if your brothers and sisters look, just think about a sickness. In the daytime, you be fine. You get home in the middle of the night, but that sickness, you gotta fight that mug all night long, man. Right? That's how spirits come, man. Right? Because think about what Christ said, man. We labor when? In the day. So at night, we're supposed to be doing what? We're supposed to be rested, but we know Esau ain't going to give us no rest, man. But that's when brothers deal with the most things, right? Because it's nighttime, and guess what happened at night? You think you can cover up your sins or cover up the situation at night because it's dark. No, man. That's when it come. Guess what? These freaks come out at night. These spirits come out at night, man. They literally come out at night, man, and you have to deal with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll witness on that every day at camp. You already know when that dog hit, that light come on out there, them free, they come out, the spirits come out. But 24 is heavy because it's like you can't get past this one scripture. You can't. Because and Jacob was left alone, man. Say, man, you gonna go through your toughest trials, man, when you at your worst, when you at your lowest. But guess what? Just because you was left alone don't mean you gotta fight it alone. That's what a lot of people don't understand, man. You ain't gotta fight alone, right? You go out to deal with that yourself. See, Christians love to say, "Oh, God's still working on me." When you go work on you? Shoot, God dang! Oh, he's still working on me. You 74 years old, deacon. Damn, when you go work on you? Yeah, we know the Lord working on us daily, but when you gonna work on you? But you can work on you what? With a body, or you can work on you without a body. And I know y'all see working on you without help, man. Without your brothers and without your sister, it gets you nowhere, man. It gets you nowhere. Like I said, that's a whole class on pride. You can do a class for weeks on pride, not a day, not hours. You can do a week, weeks on pride, man. You was left alone. We done read 24 about 7 times.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Let's go to the book of John, chapter 11 and verse 9. Because there's a lot of meat on that bone, man. It's a lot of meat, man. Like I said, we deal with spirits all day, but we know a lot of times the Bible gives the similitude. We deal with those spirits heaviest at night. Darkness is a similitude for what, brothers? Sin. You get there, read this, huh?
The book of St. John, chapter 11, verse 9. Yahushua answered, are there not 12 hours in the day?
So a lot of times brothers misunderstand the scripture. It's not saying that it's 12 hours in a full day. It's two definitions of the word day. One is a 24-hour cycle, and the other one is what? The daytime. You have to understand the context.
Which he breaks it down clearly in Genesis chapter 1.
That's right.
He made one light to rule the day and one light to rule the night. Right? Go ahead.
Read on. And he cleared it up. Christ even cleared up 12 hours in the day. I mean, that's simple, man. Don't make it hard. Read that again, up.
St. John, chapter 11, verse 9. Yahushua answered, are there not 12 hours in the day?
Uh-huh.
If any man walk in the day.
If any man walk in the day, walking in the light, walking in the commandments, read on.
He stumbleth not.
You don't stumble in this truth, man. Read on, up.
Because he seeth the light of this world.
Because you see the wickedness of this world, and you're able to work, circumnavigate through those things. You see, if lust is on the map, guess what? You take that route around righteousness, man, and go right around that thing, man. I'm talking about go right around it. Whatever you deal with, guess what? It's always another path to it, man. Read on out.
Verse 10. But if a man walk in the night,
If you walking in the night, meaning you're constantly walking in sin, read on.
he stumbleth.
He does what?
He stumbleth.
You are going to stumble, man. Read on.
Because there is no light in him.
What's the light according to the Bible? Look, Benaniyah. 6 and what?
What?
Yeah.
What?
You know he's been a J. You got the class.
For real. But like I said, that's right, man. Because even just like I said, at night, sickness be the toughest. At night, you don't see them sirens going like that to what? At night, that sun go down, and you just start seeing sirens come out of everywhere, man.
That's right.
It's always like that, man. Even us working at night, man. The Lord don't want us working at night, man. But when we don't in this captivity, man, overnight, man, it's hard for you, man.
That's right. It is. That thing really do.
It is, man. It's hard on your body, hard on your timing,
Hard on your eating.
That's right. You can see that it's not a good balance when you work
It's
overnight, man. So that's a great precept. Go ahead.
Let's go to.
I think brothers kind of jump over chapter 9. I think brothers is kind of.
Do brothers understand that? Brother Trey, you understand that? Out?
John
Oh, yeah.
chapter 9, verse 4, right quick.
The book of St. John, chapter 9, verse 4. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day.
Right, read.
The night cometh when no man can work.
So we wasn't even, our custom wasn't even supposed to work at night. We wasn't even battling. We weren't even supposed to be battling at night. But guess what? The rules of engagement changed when the other nation came around us, man. Because guess what? They want to fight us at night. They want to fight us on the Sabbath. But they want to do everything, man.
The fight is naked. How in the hell you go? How you gonna herd the sheep at night? You gonna fall in a big old ditch trying to herd the sheep. You done failed. Got trampled. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to do it, man.
So, brother, get that. This was our custom that we were supposed to work in the day. But we know we're in captivity. Esau don't give a damn about us working in the day. You gonna work the day. That's why they got first shift, second shift, and third shift for you, man. Right? Go ahead.
Let's go back to Genesis chapter 32 and read verse 25. So we understand from verse 24, you're going to deal with these things alone with these spirits that you have, but you must wrestle with these things, man. Going back to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, you must wrestle with these things.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him.
And when he saw, meaning who is the he that saw? The angel. When he saw, read on up.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him.
So when these spirits see that they can't prevail against you, read on.
He touched the hollow of his thigh.
He dislocated his thigh. But keep it in the spiritual aspect. When spirits can't see that they can't get you with certain, because think about it. Certain brothers, when you come to the level of the truth, and sisters, we don't deal no more with pork. You know, that's an easy thing to come over. You know, wearing your fringes, that's fairly easy. Growing your beard out, that's fairly easy. But then the Most High God does what? Allows Satan to put more afflictions on you. Now test that brother with adultery. Now test that sister with lust. Touch them with something that's deep. Touch them with, guess what? Children's being out of order. Wives being out of order. We're going to up the ante on these things, man. We see these things constantly, guess what? Hit us harder. Think about us, man. We're in affliction right now. We've been in affliction for over 600 some years now. We're in this captivity, man. But the Most High God, we still here, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Read verse 25 again, huh?
Verse 25 from the top. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh.
Uh-huh.
And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint.
Was out of what?
Was out of joint.
Read on out.
As he wrestled with him.
But did Jacob stop fighting? No, he didn't stop fighting, man. That's the point. Even in your toughest affliction, you still don't give up, man. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 17. Mm-hmm.
The book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 16. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
That do what?
Is against them that do evil.
So if brothers and sisters are not trying to keep the commandments, the Most High God to give those spirits into your hands and let those things overcome you, man. Read on.
To cut off the remembrance of them from the earth.
Read on.
The righteous cry.
The what?
The righteous cry.
Read on.
And the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles.
Read on.
The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit.
Read on.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Read that part again.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
So even when you are keeping God's commandments, brothers and sisters, you still gonna go through things, man. You still gonna go through things. So when we sit back, that's what I'm gonna tell you, man. That's heavy when you judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Not every time when brothers and sisters are dealing with something is it because of a judgment. But this is the key. Only you know if you're dealing with something. Captains have a certain level of discernment, but we ain't got the whole level of discernment. Sometimes these things not revealed until brothers until months, weeks, years later. So we don't have that ability to see it right off the bat. Only you know within yourself what you truly dealing with and whether or not it's because of judgment or the Most High God is trying to strengthen you in a particular type way. Only you know that. What you say, Art? Both. Yes, it can be both, but only you know that. Like for instance, brothers may be lusting, may be dealing with something. That judgment come upon you, you will know, and you may not confess that. We won't initially know because we understand, guess what, it can go both ways. Only way we'll know if what? If a brother or sister confess that, like it says in the book of James, then we pray for that brother or that sister. That's the only way. Let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. Verse 2. Yeah, go. Wherever you want.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 7. In least I shall be exalted above measure through the abundance of my revelations. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me.
To do what?
To buffet me.
That thorn in, what do you think the thorn in Paul's flesh was? Some type of sin. What? Think about what Paul did in his history. What did he do? That's right. All the murder that he committed against the Israelites, the injustice that he did towards his own people. How do you think that made him feel once he came into the knowledge of the truth? Similar to us, how we were in this world. All the whoring, brothers being whoremongers, sisters being whores. You think about it. I ain't gonna lie, we always bring this up. Think about that body count for sisters. Damn. Even with brothers, man. Brothers ain't supposed to deal like that either, man. Look at it, Brother Renaud. Damn. Because we know, like we say, according to the scriptures, hey, you supposed to meet your wife. Y'all supposed to be one flesh. Y'all supposed to only know. Unless a brother got a multiple wife, but that's another class. But even with sisters, we attribute that to the sister only supposed to know one man. Think about these things, man. That thing is heavy, man. And the sister that still has a virginity, that's a heavy thing that sisters must hold on to, man. Because they out here teaching our sisters stop words. You got sex, dirty red. I don't know her damn name. Sexy, dirty red. Sister is out of order, man. Totally out of order. And it's teaching sisters bad communication, man. Read on, huh?
There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me.
To what?
To buffet me.
Read on, huh?
Lest I should be exalted above measure.
Go ahead, huh?
Like you said, that buffet is going into trying.
That's right.
Guess what? When the Lord try you, the Lord's not trying you for you to fail. The Lord trying you, hoping that you will pass the test. That's the whole reason for the trial. He's not trying us because a lot of times, like, dang, woe is me. No, try to pass the test. That's the job, man.
That's right.
Now, woe was me, right? Go ahead.
Read on.
Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee.
Guess what? The Most High grace is sufficient for us, man. The Most High God ultimately knows our breaking point, man. But he's not going to suffer us to be what, brothers? Tempted above that we can handle, man. Read on, up.
For my strength.
Hold on for a sec. Just think about it. Majority of the brothers that have been to jail or been, I know, man, probably everybody in here, probably I know majority of the brothers have been to jail at least once or something. Now, I ain't saying prison, but just been to jail. A lot of people, guess what? You might have been to jail, but you ain't go to jail for the things that you really supposed to go to jail for. It's always something else. You don't get it for the thing that you really, really did, right? Because the thing is, no matter who you are, somebody, you got something in your closet that you ain't telling. But I bet you and the Lord know. That's why every time you go off, he like Queen Latifah with that license in her pocket. She tapped the pocket like, hey, don't remember? I know you.
That's right.
Guess what? He kind of bring you back, right? That's what the Lord do for all of us. He kind of bring us back. He tapped that pocket like, hey, don't forget, right? That's why Paul, when he was thinking about the thorn in his side, guess what? It mattered to him because he affected it. Just like your hand feel good. But if your little pinky start hurting, I promise you will feel it. If it hurt all day long, guess what? You'll feel that pinky all day long. But when you go back to feeling good, you don't even consider it. You don't even think about it. Right? They was given to Paul, like you say, the thorn in his flesh, right? That he should be, guess what? He's supposed to endure. He gave you a trial so you can pass it, not to fail. Go ahead.
Read on, huh?
Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me.
And that's what you got to pray for. Pray that the Most High God remove these spirits off of you. Read on, huh?
And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee.
Read on, huh?
For my strength is made perfect in weakness.
In what?
In weakness.
It says, for my strength is made perfect in weakness, man. That thing is heavy, man. Even in your weakest point, the Most High God gives you that ability to, guess what, overcome those situations, man. Read on, up. Go ahead, up.
That's where you grow.
That's right.
And your weakest point, that's where you grow. Right? Like we always say, I always go with analogies of sports. If you playing basketball, you right-handed, you can dribble real good with your right hand. But when you start working out that left hand, that's when you start growing. Put the ball in your left hand. Let me see if you can do with your left hand.
That's right.
Right? That's what the Most I say. And he said, man, what Paul is saying, at my weakest point, I'm growing. You got to take these infirmities so I can for growth, man. That's what it is. It's growing you.
That's right. Ahead. Bring it out. I mean, keep reading now.
Read. Verse 9 from the top. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Read on, huh?
Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities.
Do what,
I will rather glory in my infirmities.
Brothers and sisters must learn to do what? Glory in their infirmities, man. Because these things ultimately does what? Purify us and strengthens us, man. Read on out.
That the power of a Mashiach may rest upon me.
And that's the ultimate goal. We want the spirit of Christ to rest upon us, man. Because if we got the spirit of Christ resting upon us, man, there's nothing that we can't overcome, man. Brother's gonna be really in the spirit. Brother's gonna be bringing out precepts before brother even get the thought out, man. That's some heavy stuff right there, man. To literally know the mind of a brother and where he's going in the precepts. Some brothers good at that thing, man. Some brothers are real great at it, man. Hey, I got. Hey, read on.
Verse 10. Therefore, I take pleasure in my infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecution.
Therefore, I take pleasure in my infirmities, man. Read on, not
in distresses,
in reproaches, meaning when the Most High God has to correct you, you take pleasure in that. You're not like brothers and sisters mad at the captains because we got to bring out a suspension on some stuff your ass did. That is crazy. We didn't do it. You did it. Why are you mad at me? We didn't do it. Why? This is the judgment of the Most High. You lucky this is the judgment coming from the captains and not the Most High. Read on up.
Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake.
For whose sake?
For Christ's sake.
Read on up.
For when I am weak, then am I strong.
That's some heavy stuff right there. Give me Romans chapter 8, verse 18, man.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Read that again from the top up.
Romans chapter 8, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
So the sufferings that we're going through, guess what? It can't be compared to the kingdom, man. It's gonna be like a bad dream when we wake up, Lord's will, we make it to the kingdom, man. It can't be compared. So these are the things that brothers and sisters have to look forward to when you overcome these particular spirits that you deal with. Let's go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 32. In verse 25, read it out.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him.
So when these spirits see that they can't overcome you, read on.
He touched the hollow of his thigh.
Then he bring on what? More afflictions. Read on.
He touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint.
Man, you have to see how painful that thing was, man, to keep wrestling and your thigh is out of joint. But that's the strength that we have as a nation of people, man. Like we said, 500 years, 400 years of slavery, and we still in this thing, man. Read on up.
And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him.
As he steady fighting. Read on up.
And he said, let me go, for the day breaking.
Man, you have to just think about the power of our forefather, man. You got this angel that excel in strength. Let's get that right quick. Give me Psalms chapter 103. Thanks, up. Psalms 103 and verse 20. When you get there, read that out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 103, verse 20. Blessed be the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength.
That's physically, and more importantly, that's spiritually as well. Most High God can send you a strong delusion spirit that you can't not recover from, man. Read on out.
That do his commandments.
That do what?
That do his commandments.
That excel in strength and that do his commandments. Read on.
Hearkening unto the voice of his word.
Meaning the angels are in complete order with the Most High. The Most High God sending these spirits out and they do what they're commanded to do, man. Let's go back. So these spirits, the angels, they excel in strength, man. So we can just see the strength of our forefather Jacob, man. And we don't think that we don't have that in us today. That's what brothers and sisters' faith has to be increased, man. We have that same strength, man. Read verse 26 again, Genesis 32 and 26.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 26 from the top. And he said, let me go, for the day breaking. And he said, I will not let thee go.
Hey, Jacob was not letting them go, man. That's when you have these spirits in a headlock, man, and they trying to escape from you, man. That's where you want to have those spirits. When you see, guess what? Big Booty Judy pop up on those TikTok things and you just scroll right past it. Man, I ain't even taken by that stuff, man. You know, you see brothers on there doing all type of wickedness and uncleanness, smoking weed, drinking, and you scroll right past that stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, even those phones are a doorway to wickedness as well, man. They're literally constantly trying to catch you up on those things. That's why even like we was talking about a Capt one-on-one. That's going into Esau how of a level of wickedness he is. Like the things that you even thinking in your mind, it just pops up on your phone. Don't let you sing a song and that thing is playing all the time on the phone, man. I'm talking about all the time. I'm talking about sin is so easy to do and to get into in these days, man. But when you got that thing in the headlock, guess what? Now you chasing after those spirits. Like, come on, test me now. I'm able to overcome those particular things, man.
And you got to think the spirit, if you know how, just think about how when the Lord send the spirits to try us, he's not going to get the spirit that you good at. He's never going to get that part. If he, guess what? If that's the part he got to get at, he already knows that's going to fail. You got your grip is too tight on it. But let me try it over here. If this right here, if I can get you on this end right here, this is the part I'm gonna get you at every single time, and I'm gonna make sure I keep on getting you there.
That's right.
Right. That's why just think about how Jacob when he held to the angel. No, guess what? I overcame this. This part was his weakest when he knocked his thigh out of place, and he still was fighting. Man, most brothers, man, you break their fingers in a fight, boy, it's over with, man.
Boy, you get a paper cut, boy.
Yes,
hey,
for real. Most brothers say you get your nose busted in a fight, you done lost, right? He got it. He broke the whole thigh place, man.
Brothers can't imagine that. Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. Where did this strength come from? The Most High and His Son Yahushua, man.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 10, verse 1. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits.
So we have power over unclean spirits, man. This is the ability that the Most High God gives us. Read that again from the top.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 10, verse 1. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits.
To do what?
To cast them out.
To do what?
To cast them out.
Lust.
To cast them out.
Envy.
To cast them out.
Hatred.
to cast them out.
We have spirits to cast these. Guess what? We have power to cast out these spirits that we deal with, brothers and sisters, man. Read on out.
And to heal all manner of sickness.
No, some manner.
All manner of sickness.
Uh-huh.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease. The thing is, brothers have to build up their faith. Sisters have to build up their faith in this truth, man. To believe that you can do these things and overcome them. Give me the book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 19. Saying the same thing, just using more details or different analogies, so to speak.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 10. Chapter 10, verse 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents.
To do what?
To tread on serpents.
Meaning what? The doctrines that these serpents, because the Most High God, remember, uses serpents as an analogy. What are the attributes of a poisonous snake? They bite you, they inject venom into you. Giving a similitude to these other nations, mainly Esau. Meaning when they open their mouth, they spit out doctrines contrary to the Bible. To cause our people to what? To be hurt, to be diseased, to be unclean. Read on up.
Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions. And over all the power of the enemy.
And over all the power of the enemy. Yes, we have enemies in this truth, brothers and sisters, man. It's literally in the Bible, man. The number one enemy is you versus you. The new man versus the old man. That second one is going into Esau. The third one is going into what? The things of the world, the lust of the eyes, like Art brought out earlier. Read on.
And nothing shall by any means hurt you.
Read that part again, Art.
And nothing shall by any means hurt you.
But brothers and sisters have to believe that thing. Read on, Art.
Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not.
Christ is correcting them. Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not, because a lot of times this could be compared to what? Brothers being puffed up. You think you got it all right? No, you always have to do what? Stay on your P's and Q's in this truth, man. Because guess what? Satan can get an advantage over you. You can't be ignorant of his devices, man. Read on up.
Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not, that the spirits are subject unto you.
Don't rejoice, because guess what? Spirits are subject unto us. Man, that thing is heavy right there. Spirits are subject unto us, man. Meaning what? We have power over these things. Like we say, brothers are not utilizing, sisters are not utilizing their powers, man. By what? Prayer, fasting, and applying God's laws. Read on up.
But rather rejoice, because your names are written in heaven.
Man, that's some heavy stuff right there, man. We pray, brothers and sisters should pray that, guess what? We could come into that, man. Let's go back to Genesis.
That also goes into that Isaiah 45 and 17, man. That's why it says that nothing shall hurt us, man.
That's right.
Right? Nothing can confound us, especially when we keeping God's commandments, like no spirits or anything.
That's right.
Right?
What, 26?
Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go.
Except what?
Except thou bless me.
Except thou what?
Except thou bless me.
And that thing is heavy too. Meaning when you're able to overcome these spirits, guess what? The Most High God blesses us, man. Man, how does it feel when you know you done overcame a certain spirit that you're dealing with, man? That thing feel good, man. It's like a weight off your spirit, man. But you don't get complacent, because the next spirit is coming, man. This is a continual battle, man. Read on up.
Verse 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob.
Read on.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
But who, brothers?
But Israel.
Read on up.
For as a prince has thou power with God.
Man, that's a heavy title, man. to be a prince that has power with God, to know that the Most High God is actually our Father, man. Man, that's some heavy stuff right there, man. That's some stuff that, guess what? That's why it is pivotal to read. Even with myself, being on third shift, your time, even like what Captain Yara was saying, it throws your time and all the way off. But you have to fight to make that time to read. You come on, you sleepy. You have to fight, man, because reading scriptures like this restores your spirit. Knowing that we are the prince that has power with the Most High God, read on up.
And with men.
And with men, that part there is heavy too, man. Meaning what? These other nations are subject to us, man, when we in our right spirit. Right. How many times have brothers kept the commandments? You thinking Esau gonna deal one way and may not let you off for a high holy day? And guess what? You pray to the Most High God, Esau coming there happy as he want to be. Yeah, Barrington, you got the whole week off. God damn it, all right. Already, man. Hey, it's time to party, man. And this is something that we tell brothers and sisters, like we say, even we knowing that Passover is coming up, make sure that y'all do use y'all PTO and things of that nature to keep God's high holy days. Y'all want to make sure that those things are lined up. We know that y'all may not be able to get the whole week off, but at least get that first day and that Saturday. You know, that first day is one of the most important, man. It is. Read on out.
But Israel, for as a prince has thou power with God and with men.
Read on.
And has prevailed.
And has prevailed, man. That's the power that the Most High God has given us to prevail over the spirits that does what? That comes our way.
Man, brothers got that has prevailed. Brothers, we got, and sisters, we got to get in that mentality or mindset that we refuse to lose, man.
That's right.
Because a lot of us, man, we've been down so long, we accustomed to losing, man. Oh well, I just pay for it. No, man, you don't want to pay for it, man. We want to win, man.
For real.
That's
Right? We got to get that loser mentality out of our system, man. Right? We got to literally fight to get that out of our system, because a lot of brothers and sisters on a day-to-day basis, we lose at home, fighting these battles at the house. We lose on these jobs. Man, we lose on a day-to-day basis because we just feel like we ain't got no rest. But if we keep the vision, keep ourselves on the beaten path, man. That's why you think the Lord told Peter, after the wind started beating vehemently, he started drowning. He had to pick him up and save him. Why do you think he had to save him? Because guess what, man? He started looking at everything else. Stop having that loser mentality. We're not losers, man. We are the winners, man. We know every one of us ain't gonna get a trophy, but guess what? We at least try to fight to get that trophy, right? Go ahead.
And the same thing I want to touch on, that has prevailed this time. So Christians forget. You prevail this time. You're ready to prevail next time. And next time. Right? When you win, it stretches you to want to win again, right? I ain't never met somebody that got the good feeling of winning, like I said, overcoming a certain situation and not feeling damn good about it to want to overcome the next situation.
That's right.
Right? When you prevail this time. Don't get on your high horse. Yeah, I did this because the Lord will come send it. Hey, well, you go prevail this time? So make sure that you keep that winning spirit, like I said in you, man. I want to prevail against all my problems, man, all my problematic areas, man. You understand?
Like, they say, what the heck? Like I was talking about thinking about overcoming one after the next. That explains our captivity. That explains the whole captivity. We prevail, we got up, we fell back down again. We prevailed again, we got up, fell back. This explains captivity. This is the reason why we went through captivity, because we prevailed. Right? But guess what? We won, but then we went right back to captivity again because we lost the battle again. Right? We trying to get ourselves to the point that it's like the Lord said. I'm glad the Lord said this is the last one. Well, we can accept it.
That's right.
Right? Just put it up. Guess what? The Lord gonna pour it on us good. He poured it on us good. We didn't even know who we was. Guess what? I'd rather for the Lord give us, and then me personally, I'd rather for the Lord give it to us all at one time, so we ain't got to never go back through this again. We don't want. Let's give me part of it, then we'll go through the next section again. No, Lord, just give us all to us right now, so we ain't got to go through that. Right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Should we all do
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 6, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season.
Read that part again, Doc.
1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 6, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season.
So guess what? We rejoice for a season, but guess what? Back to the work, man. Back to fighting these spirits. Not letting up. Those times, what do for a season, brothers and sisters thinking spiritual for a season, what time can we rejoice? Say it again. Man, that brother in the damn spirit. Brother in the spirit, man. That's the time that brothers and sisters do rejoice during the high holy days, man. That's the spirit, man. That's what brothers is talking about. That's what Capt 101 is for, to get brothers in that mindset. Sometimes brothers think that the thing is impossible. I can't tell what a nigga is thinking. Man, shut the hell up. Yes, you can. Just by going through the precepts, man. That's us being on one accord, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. When Captain Yara came into the truth, I had a great concept of that, man. I understood the mission and excelled in that thing, man. Brothers out there bringing out precepts, even like how he just did, brother, already on the precept, because he already knew where the brothers was going. He knew where the spirit was going. I'm talking about I picked it up like that. Yeah, brothers that pick it up. Soldier Donovan, Soldier Uriah, brothers pick it up. It's not to say that other brothers don't either, because even with twins, man, all praise to the Most High, man. Y'all came on with that thing. We can see the improvement. Brother Renard, Brother Lance. That's what this truth is about, man. This truth is always about growing, man. Even on sisters as well, man. But we want to continue to grow. Continue to grow, man. Don't think that because we don't shout out, sisters do great work. You see great spirit on sisters as well, man. Sisters been the truth 1-2 years and grasp the truth quickly, man. Not having no downfalls, not slacking. Even for ones that slacking, getting back up, steady fighting. These are things to look forward to, man, to be the example to younger sisters that come into the truth, for younger brothers that come into the truth. Go ahead, Al.
And all that needs to be seen, right? We need to see that, right? We need to see some fails sometimes to make sure that we learn from the fails, man. We need to see a brother, sister. Not saying that we want you to. Don't get it twisted. We don't want nobody to fail or don't exceed the expectations that the Most High God give us. But when you do see somebody fail and get back up and get right back to it like they never failed, and then you were like, dang, they went through some tough, they was tripping.
That's right.
Well, the youngsters, they were tweaking. Now they back. We need to see that, man. That's letting your light shine, man. That sees and lets you know that that's the just part of this thing, man. That's why we serve a merciful and compassionate God, man, that he is just, man, that his law is even just, man.
That's right.
But we need to see that, man.
Go ahead, Al.
Right. That's that James chapter 5. Let's get that right quick. James chapter 5, verse 19. Right? Because this, like you say, things do happen in the truth, but we expect it to get up. The Lord wants us to be fighting, man. He wants Jacob to prevail. He don't want Jacob to give up. He wants Jacob to prevail. No matter what situation that you going through, get up and prevail.
That's right.
Keep fighting, man. Right? James chapter 5, verse 19. He want us to prevail. He wants us to win. Get what? You out the spirit, get back in the spirit.
That's right.
Right. Simple as that. Read it out.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 19. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth,
Read.
and one convert him,
One converted him, man. Read.
let him know that he which converted the sinner from the error of his ways
Read.
shall save a soul from death.
This is what we trying to do. We trying to, guess what? To help exalt our brothers and sisters, man. Trying to save their soul from death, man. Not the first death, the second death, man. Right? Read.
And shall hide a multitude of sins.
Because this is what we want. We want to, hey, I don't know how y'all feel like I'll say, well, I'll tell you something. Well, I stand up there in front of the book of when they got the books open. Man, I hope a whole lot of stuff be blotted out when I stand up there in front of the Lord, man.
Right.
Right? Lord, please just blot this book, this whole side, and this side too.
That's right.
I mean, you got to keep flipping the page. Well, this side too, Lord. Right? For real. Just blot these things out of us, man. Right? Because we really don't want that, man. We really don't want the Lord just read out a whole list. We start walking towards the lake of fire, man. Right? I ain't saying you gotta take us. We take our own damn self, man.
For real. Yeah, you throw your own ass in there.
Right? Yeah.
Keep reading on that First Peter's, man. First Peter's chapter 1 and verse 7 again from the top. Was it 6? 6. Thanks.
The book of First Peter, chapter 1, verse 6, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations.
Through many temptations. Read on, huh?
That the trial of your faith,
That the what are?
that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes.
The trial of our faith is more precious than of gold, brothers and sisters, man. Read on, huh?
Though it be tried with fire.
Guess what? Purged with fire. We know the analogy of being purged with fire. It makes things what? More purified. You going through trials, you going through temptations, and overcoming those things makes you stronger. Read on, huh?
Might be found unto praise and honor.
And that's the point that you want, man. You want that trial that you're going through. You want Christ to see you, and guess what? Give you praise for that thing.
Right.
Want the Most High and the angels giving you praise for that thing, man. That's a glorious thing to have that the Most High God see you in that favor like that, man. That's some things to constantly try to reach and achieve to, man. Go ahead, Doc. Yes, sir. Keep reading, Doc.
Might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Man, that's some heavy stuff, man. You brothers and sisters should be trying to esteem to that, man. Let's go to Genesis chapter 32 and verse 29.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 29. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of this place Peniel,
meaning where the face of God. Now, the thing is, did he actually see the face of the Most High? No. The angels are his representation of the Most High.
Right.
Because we know in the scriptures that what? No man sees God and what, brothers? And live. Read verse 29 again.
Hold on. The Egyptologists. This you got to touch it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they think the pineal gland is the third eye.
Yeah, that's
right. They think that it is the third eye. But a lot of, not a lot, all of them that even speaks about the third eye, they go off. Right? Yes, the Lord gave us a pineal gland. It was a cord that he gave us. What you call it? Huh? Not spinal cord.
Yeah.
A connection.
Yeah.
It's basically a connection to the Most High. Damn spinal cord. Right? I mean, we all got a spinal cord. Some of them might be crooked and broke, but we got one, right?
That is
warm down spinal cord. Be a bowl of jelly, right? But the Lord gave us a connection to him. Right? That's what they was talking about in Psalm. Get that precept right. Psalm chapter 1, right quick. This is how, when they start talking about the third eye on the street, this is how you combat those things. Psalms chapter 1. And no, Psalms chapter 2. Psalm chapter 2 and verse 3. You get that, let's read it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 3.
Right, read it.
Let us break their bands asunder.
What the Bible say?
Let us break their bands asunder.
Now, to break the bands asunder, bands is going into the connection, right? They was trying to break the bands asunder, read.
And cast away their cords from us.
Right? Because this goes into how we had a cord or what a cord does, it connects, right? That's the same thing we had with the Most High. We had a connection literally with the Most High. If we prayed to the Lord, just like all the rest of the prophets, they prayed to the Lord, here it comes, right? He said, Lord, show me a sign. The Lord peeled back the sun 15 degrees, 15, right?
That's right.
Say, Lord, pray to the Lord, guess what? Rain down fire. There was a literally connection that we had with the Lord Most High. But since we through wickedness and sin, guess what happened? The Lord broke our bands asunder to him, man. Right? We got to build back to where we once was, man. So when they go into that thing, guess what? No, the Lord broke those bands asunder. When they talking about this third eye, no, this is how it's a one scripture that can help combat those things, especially when you're dealing with an Egyptologist, right?
That's right. And that's a great point that I brought up, man. They broke the disconnect that we have with the Most High. You know, that's a great point I brought up. Go ahead, up. Oh, let's go back to Genesis chapter 32, read verse 29 again. We'll touch on this real quick. We almost out here. We're trying to make it a long class. Just want brothers and sisters kind of keep that fight up as we going into Passover. You know, even like what Officer Barakai touched on, brothers been touching on, and we're gonna keep touching on, you know, removing that leaven, not buying too much leaven on a carnal level, and more importantly on a spiritual level, because you have to constantly be trying to get these things removed out for Passover. Read this, Sock. Yeah, 29.
29. The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 29. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name.
Thy who?
Thy name.
So what does the name Jacob mean? Any brother? To supplant. What does the word supplant means? Any brother know? That's what people say. People say we have synonyms: replace, displace, supersede, take the place of, take over from, substitute, undermine, override, oust. So we know, think about our spirit. We had that particular type of spirit in it to, guess what, to finesse the situation, to make it easier. Even like at our jobs, we always looking for that way to navigate on how to make our jobs easier. Loopholes, exactly. That's the perfect word for it. Loopholes. Thinking about our people even in slavery, how they created the cotton gin, making ways of slavery easier to them. We know eventually Esau took the inventions, you know, but this is the type of spirit that we have now. Be it may, we use these spirits for wickedness in these days, when we need to be using these spirits for the righteousness, to finesse these spirits that we deal with, man. Brothers don't think about those things. Let's finesse that lust spirit, man. Put that thing in a spiritual figure four lock, man. This is the type of way that we have to think in this truth, man. Read verse 29 again.
Verse 29 from the top. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name?
Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 27, because we got to touch on this. Because Christian commentaries, Christianity always say, oh, he stole and took it was already given to him. It was already destined, like Captain Yara said, for him, man. The Most High God had it play out in that particular fasting. But if brothers and sisters understand the precepts, it was already predestined that the Most High God chose Jacob. Genesis chapter, let's get some more. Let's see. Salaki, brothers and sisters. Jump up to verse 23. What'd you say, Ak? Start at verse 21. Go ahead, Ak.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 21. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that it may feel thee, my son.
So remember, the mother knew the prophecies. So this is how it had it play out. So we understand that the Most High God does what he does deal with sisters, man. You know, the Most High God most definitely deals with sisters, but it's in order to those things, especially if a sister has a head.
Especially, you got to think, this is a mother concerning her children.
That's right.
She, guess what? Just like the father can see things in the home, the mother can see things too. Like, guess what? The Lord gonna definitely deal with those children. Right? Go ahead.
Read on.
And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
Read on.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, thy voice, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
So you know he had to put on the goat skin. Read on out.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands.
Because we know that they are a very hairy nation. This is one of the characteristics of Esau. Like I say, you don't give them a Gillette razor, they look like they're in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Read on out.
So he blessed him, and he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee.
Read on out.
And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank.
So Christians will read verse 24. We understand that that's in there, but you have to understand precept upon precept, the totality. How the Most High God did what? Gave it to him from the beginning. Brother Ocean. Watch Junior Ox. Now, stop that.
Right.
Read on. Go ahead. You want something? Go
ahead. Yeah. Y'all see in this that Jacob, okay, now Jacob was talking to Isaac, his father. And so Isaac, guess what? In any theological school, they will make this as being what? Saying that he deceived them. Let's jump up, man. Jump up to verse 12.
Verse 12. Genesis 27 and 12. My father, peradventure, will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver.
Right? So Jacob, he didn't want to do this. He said, look, if my father, he going to feel my skin. He going to say that I'm a deceiver. Right? Read.
And I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing.
So now Jacob said, I'm going to bring a curse upon me. If I do this, I'm going to bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. Right? This is what he's telling to his mother. Watch what his mother says to him. Very next verse.
Verse 13. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse.
No, upon Jacob.
Upon me.
She said, upon me be thy curse. Read.
My son, only obey my voice and go fetch me them.
She told Jacob to do this.
That's right.
She said, whatever comes with that, I'll take that on my own. Why? Because the Lord had already gave to her what she's supposed to do in the beginning.
That's right.
So she, guess what? She had to make sure that it went through that way, right? Because the blessing was supposed to be upon on who? On Jacob, right? They said the elders shall serve the what? The younger. It was already written before they even came out the womb.
That's right.
Right. So for them to even say this makes them go all the way off. Go ahead.
And that's a heavy point that I brought out. Even going into Exodus, where the Most High God says that what? Israel is my firstborn. So that's why it's always a controversy between us and the small hats, because they felt like since they were the older, they know who they are. But you can't negate the prophecies that the Most High God gave us. They know that, so it's nothing that they can do against that, man. It is what it is. Jump back down. Verse 28.
Verse 28. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth.
Read on.
And plenty of corn and wine.
Read on.
Let people serve thee.
Read that part again.
Let people serve thee.
Let people serve us, man. This is what we're entitled to, man. This is our blessing. Read on.
And nations bow down to thee.
And nations bow down to thee, man. Read on.
Be Lord over thy brethren.
And guess what? We're going to be Lord over Esau, man. Yes, we are, man. Read on.
And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee.
Read on.
Cursed be everyone that curseth thee. And blessed be he that blesseth thee.
So everyone always want to use the Abraham covenant. They want the second part, but they don't want the first part, man. They don't want the curses. Because guess what? What nation is blessing us, man? All these nations have cursed us. So guess what? They got to take on that covenant part, man. They got to get the curses, man. How you going to have curses without blessings, man? And vice versa. They go one and the same, man. Read on up.
Verse 30. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting.
Jump down to verse 32.
Verse 32. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau.
Read on.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly.
So you were the firstborn of Isaac, but you're not the firstborn of the Most High. Brothers got to home in those points too as well, man. Read on up.
And said, Who? Where is he that had taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry.
We don't give a damn. Read on up.
And said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father.
Going into what? Hebrews what, brothers?
12 and 16.
12 and 16. All praise. Read on.
Verse 35. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety.
Came with what?
Came with subtlety.
Read on up.
And have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times.
But did he really? No, because it was according to the prophecy, even like what Captain Jerubbaal brought out. This was orders from his mother. And she was going to take that judgment because she knew it wasn't going to be none, because the Most High God had already gave her the understanding.
And he talking about these 2 times. The first time, people don't.
That's right.
They love not to take on their own actions. He did that. What do you say? I'm at the point to die. I don't care. You can have this, brother.
That's right.
You did that. I can always say that, man. We go through counsel. You did that. Not me. You did it. Second time, my mama. Right? So, look, you wrong on both occasions, man.
Hey, guess what? He put that on his mama, man.
Yeah, put that on my mama, on my hood. On Jerusalem.
Let's get the hit up, man. Let's go to the book of Romans chapter 9, man. Romans chapter 9, and start at verse 7.
If brothers don't know, if he asks y'all questions in Romans 9, and if y'all brothers get this thing wrong, man, we're gonna cut these cameras out here. Camp 101 right here in front of everybody, man.
We're gonna leave it on it. Like, what the Battle Axe doing, man? You get there, read this out.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 7.
I don't see how Christians abuse Romans 9, man. It's crazy. Read on.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. Brother Hosea, what that part mean? I told you I was coming for you. Say it again. I can't hear you. That's right. All praise.
We're talking about children of God to help you out even more. I'm help you out. It's talking about the children of God. Neither because they're seed of Abraham are they children. Children of who? Children of God. Children of the Most High, right?
Because what? Abraham had many sons. He had sons with Keturah, Hagar. He had many sons, but only one nation was chosen. That's what this is saying. And brothers have to home in that point when they're teaching. Because Christians try to finesse this scripture greatly, man. I'm talking about it and be failing miserably. Read on.
So like, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children.
Uh-huh.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Meaning the Most High God was only dealing with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Read on up.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh.
Now, who are the children of the flesh, brother? What you got, Junior? All praises. And who else? Let me see if you got that one. All praises, man. Brother in the spirit, man.
Yeah.
Move out, man. Move out. What the hell, man? We gonna get our cross, man. That brother out there teaching them children, man. All praises. The brother's gotta snatch it back, man. All praises, Shama. Say no, Shama, our voice ain't that damn deep, man. Come on, man. Read on,
That is, they which are the children of the flesh.
Abraham, Ishmael, Esau. Read on.
These are not the children of God.
Read on.
But the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
Read on up.
For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son.
Read on.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also have conceived by one,
So it's going into both Ishmael and Esau. Read on.
even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born,
Going into Jacob and Esau. Read on.
neither having done any good or evil,
Esau hadn't done any good. Jacob hadn't done any good or evil. Read on.
that the purpose of God, according to the election, might stand.
Meaning God chose who he wanted to choose to be his lineage. Read on up.
Not of works, but of him that calleth.
Read on up.
It is said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
And that's it. That is what it is, man. So brothers want to make sure that they home in this point when they try to go into Jacob tried to supplant. Let's go back into Genesis chapter 32 and verse 29. We're almost out here.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 29. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed them there.
We got that blessing from the Most High. Read on out.
And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face.
That's what it means. God face to face. Read on.
And my life is preserved.
And what?
And my life is preserved.
Read on out.
And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him.
Meaning what? That sun represents what? The light. The light rose upon him, man. Meaning the Most High God is dealing with us on a higher level. Read on up.
And he halted upon his thigh.
And he halted, meaning he hopped on about his business, man. But he fought with that affliction, man. That's letting brothers and sisters know, hey, we're not nearly going through what our forefathers are going through, man. The Most High God is giving us a way out of this thing. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13.
The book of 1 Corinthians.
Bless you.
Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
So the things that we go through are common to men. Meaning what? Common through the scriptures. It's an example on things that brothers and sisters done went through and how they overcame it. Read on out.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
Make a way, what up?
Make a way to escape.
Make a way, brothers.
Make a way to
The
escape.
Most High God gives us that way to escape. That's the spirit that he gave us to do what? To prevail over spirits, man. Read on.
That ye may be able to bear it.
That we may be able to bear it, man. And with that, we'll say shalom. Make sure brothers and sisters share and like the videos. Make sure brothers and sisters donate to the cause. Help us push this truth to the four corners of the earth. We thank you for brothers and sisters that are sending in alms and donations. That money is used wisely, like we say, to pay the bills that we have with the building and so on and so forth. Brothers and sisters trying to celebrate the Passover with us, make sure that you pay your fees, reach out to the captains so you can get an understanding on how much the fees are in the itinerary for the Passover. We always tell brothers and sisters to keep a law. Any brothers got a law? I didn't have one written down. Let's get there right quick. Like I said, Deuteronomy chapter 13, 30. Chapter 30. 1 through 3. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 1 through 3.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse.
And all these things have came upon us, the blessing and the curses. Do any brother know, when did we receive the blessings? Do any brother know? Do any brother know when did we receive the blessings? Brother should know that. What you got? What you got, twin? You want to take a? No, in what time period did we receive the blessing? Think about it, man. In the time of King David and Solomon. Mainly King Solomon. That's because, remember, King David had to put all the enemies under his feet so that King Solomon didn't have to deal with no other nations.
Right.
That's when we received the blessings. 40 years of blessings, man. Read on out.
And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee.
Read on.
And thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations.
And that's what we're doing when we prophesied out there on the streets. We're calling these curses to mind. That we're the ones in captivity in the worst cities. Guess what? Wives were raped. Children were, guess what, sold to the enemies on slave ships. All those curses in Deuteronomy. Read on.
And thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God had driven thee.
Read on.
And shall return unto the Lord thy God.
And shall do what up?
And shall return unto the Lord thy God.
This is prophecy, man. And this is being fulfilled right now because we are literally returning to the Most High God right now. Standing up, repenting, fighting off these spirits that we have and turning back to his commandments. Read on.
And shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day.
This what?
This day.
This what, brothers?
This day.
Read on up.
Thou and thy children.
And thy children. That thing is heavy, man. It's our job to teach our children, man. A lot of times you have brothers that come into the truth. They build up themselves, but they're not building up their wives and their children. That thing is heavy. Then you want to get mad when they're going off. Well, hell, you ain't teaching them a damn thing. They supposed to go off, man. Like you literally have to teach your daughters. You have to teach your sons the commandments, man. Right and wrong according to the scriptures. Read on up.
Thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
With all thy heart and with all thy soul. Read on.
That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
That's the only time the captivity is being turned, when we're teaching our children and we're wholeheartedly searching and keeping the commandments of the Most High, fighting to stay in this truth. Read on up.
That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee.
Read on.
And will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God had scattered.
Had what?
Had to scatter thee.
And with that, we say shalom. Any